Hello everyone. Today I'm going to give a brief instruction as to how you might want to go about changing your strings on an acoustic guitar, and similar to any other instrument such as a bass guitar or an electric guitar. Here we have an acoustic. It's an LL16 handcrafted Yamaha guitar, which I use quite often, and I'm going to show you how to change the top string, and it's generally the same thing for all strings. The first things you're going to need, which comes in handy, is it's the winder, string winder, and a good set of pliers for cutting the wire nice and close to the key, where it goes through the key. So there's some things that are very important when changing strings on the guitar. Of course, right now you see I have it on the table. I don't really have a workbench per se that's suitable for this, so I have a small blanket underneath the guitar here to protect the back of the guitar. And if you notice over here, I have a, if I can get the camera to zoom in, right there I have a neck support machine. That's made by Dunlop, I believe. It's just like a tripod with rubber on the feet and rubber around the top there where it sits on the neck. So basically you just want to be careful of a couple of things. One of the most important things, I think, is to take the one string off at a time. That way you don't let too much tension off of the neck. So we'll take off the top string first, the E string, and once you take that off, you have to be very careful when taking out these pegs. They're very easy to break, so you have to be cautious. And if you do break them off, don't try to push them through, because there's a tapered hole. They're meant to go in and stop, so it's not going to go all the way through. If you break this peg off and you try to poke it in, you're going to damage your bridge here. You have to get inside and poke the peg out. So anyway, here's step one. We'll get the camera zoomed in here. Let's see if we can get it over here. Oop. There we go. I better zoom out a bit though. Here we are. Okay, placing my hand on the neck here, I'm going to begin to unwind the string. And once I start to unwind it, of course, I'm going to grab up the slack so it doesn't hit on the guitar and scratch it. You also want to be careful when you're taking the string off and putting the strings on, that the tip of the string doesn't hit the guitar and scratch the surface in any way. Once the string is loose, you see, and pop it off like that. Now that we have the string let go from the peg up there on the key, we're going to insert this. Some of these tools have this one is cracked. I just want to show you. It is cracked, but I can still use it. You want to get this pushed into the peg, and I'm going to see if it's going to work. But I'm going to gently pry up on the peg itself, slowly, without breaking it. And I think we have it now. And you remove the peg, and then you remove the string. I neglected to mention, you see I got this string, the old string wound up here. I put that aside. You can keep these strings for a spare if you want, but I have a new pack of D'Addario acoustic strings. They are the EJ16s. So anyway, what I like about D'Addario is their strings, the actual balls on the end of the string, are color coded. So you can go by the pack here. The brass string, the big string is gold, and red, black, I think it is, green, purple, and silver. So this, if you notice this one here, the ball here, if it's in focus, I'm not sure, it is gold. So we open the package. Oh, good Lord. Let me see. Better go by the bottom. I don't want to destroy the package because there is information on it that allows me to collect points, and I may have already just done that. So just bear with me. Here we are, we're in. And we're looking for the gold one, which is here. And the gold one is also with the red. So I hope I never destroyed the information on the package. The number code for collecting points through D'Addario. So anyway, we unravel the string, of course, and we place it to one side. And we take the gold one, which is the E string. I know a lot of this is not in the shot, but bear with me. So then we take the ball end of the string, insert it down into the hole, and if you notice, the peg itself has a little groove here. You want to put that groove towards the string. And so we insert the peg just like that. And we pull up on the string, and it'll lock in place somewhat. Next, we want to insert the other end of the string into the hole of the key. Just like that. You can bring it up true, but don't bring it taut because there's something we have to do. Here's a little trick. You take this string and you back it off so that there's lots to wound on, but not too much. The thicker strings, the higher strings on the guitar, the bigger ones that have a wound on them, need less distance for winding, because what happens is your peg here gets filled up with string. So we don't want a whole lot left over. But anyway, then we wrap the string around like that. There we go. You wrap the string around this way, and on this side you wrap it the other way. And then you pull up on this wire, and you hold the string taut, and you get your string winder, and you begin winding. The first wind goes over the top of the string and the other ones go below. Then you put it in the channel here by the nut, the groove of the nut where the string goes. Then you give a quick reference of your bottom string for E. And I always wind the string higher than normal. I go up a few frets higher, that way the string stretches. Now I'm going to pull up on the string. I'm pulling away from the guitar, and I want to show you something here now. Just one moment. Oops. If you notice here, it's hard to tell, but the peg is not all the ways in. So what we need to do is slack the string off, detune the string, and then push the peg down. Then retune. Now it's important to know the notes of the string, of each string, so that you can bring it to well within the tolerance. You can see the difference, I think, between the new string and the older string. Now you see here the top string is wound. We have at least 2 windings, almost 3 really, so that's a barrel. And so then you take your wire cutter, and you need to be very careful here. You're going to go very close to the peg here, without cutting any other strings here, especially the newer ones. You wouldn't want to be cutting your newer ones. And just cutting the tip as flush as possible. I'm using these snippers here so I can get very close. And you snip them off flush once that string is locked in. And there's nothing there to hook your hand on. So that's how you change strings on a guitar. You do the same thing with the other 5 strings, of course. Keeping in mind, here's something that's very important to note when you're changing strings. If you notice, the first 3 strings on this kind of guitar are on the top 3 pegs, 3 keys, and the other 3 are down below. So some guitars have all the keys on one side, some have 4 and 2 or whatever. It's all kinds of different combinations depending on the kind of guitar you're changing strings on. But the important thing is to remember, the top 3 strings go on the inside of the peg, of the keys here. So they're wound this way, of course. On the bottom here, they're opposite. So all your strings are always on the inside of your tuning pegs here. You see that? Some people make the mistake and they put them on the outside, and then your string ends up rubbing on your key here. So in order to have the guitar working properly, tuning properly and not worried about having strings being broken, that's what you do. Now, a tuner is great to have. Have one here. It's a snark. If you don't know your note references, you need to study that and have a good ear for sound. You put it on the guitar and you turn it on and you tune away. The important thing is to let the strings sit, stretch. So like I told you, when I tuned this up, I turned it up a couple of extra turns, at least one turn anyway, to bring it above where it should be, and then when I drop it down below, the string is stretched. And then I pull up on the string at about the 12th fret or around the sound hole, and I also can push down on it to lock it down into the position. So once it's stretched like that, then you can anticipate your guitar staying in tune. I would suggest that maybe you tune it, after you let it sit for a few minutes, you retune it, and the guitar should stay in tune relatively good. But within the hour, you know, when it all settles in, your guitar should be just fine. So that's how you change a string on an acoustic guitar, and like I say, it's the same thing for electric basses and electric guitars. Hope that was helpful. If you have any questions, feel free to give me a comment in below the video here, and please rate and subscribe. I really appreciate it. Thanks, and have a good day.